I'm gonna read these stories. These are motivational story, and it has a lot of meanings. Everyone has a story in life. A 24-year-old boy seeing out from the train's window shouted, "Dad, look, the trees are going behind." Daddy smiled, and a young couple sitting nearby looked at the 24-year-old's childish behavior with pity. Suddenly he again exclaimed, "Dad, look, the cows are running with us." The couple couldn't resist and said to the old man, "Why don't you take your son to a good doctor?" The old man smiled and said, "I did, and we are just coming from the hospital. My son was blind from birth. He just got his eyes today." Every single person on the planet has a story. Don't judge people before you truly know them. The truth might surprise you. It's a beautiful story, so we no need to judge. We shouldn't judge anyone by watching their behavior. Now I'm going to read the second story. Shake off your problems. A man's favorite donkey falls into a deep precipice he can't pull out no matter how hard he tries. He therefore decides to bury it alive. Soil is poured onto the donkey from above. The donkey feels the load, shakes it off, and steps on it. More soil is poured. It shakes it off and steps up. The more the load was poured, the higher it rose. By noon, the donkey was grazing in green pastures. After much shaking off problems and stepping up, learning from them, one will graze in green pastures. This is so interesting story. The more you bury, the more you pour, the more you do up, the more you get energy. So we should work according to our power. Now we are moving to the next story, the elephant rope. As a man was passing the elephants, he suddenly stopped, confused by the fact that these huge creatures were being held by only a small rope tied to their front leg. No chain, no cakes. It was obvious that the elephant could at any time break away from their bonds, but for some reason they did not. He saw a trainer nearby and asked why these animals just stood there and made no attempt to get away. Well, trainer said, when they were very young and much smaller, we used the same size rope to tie them, and at the age it's enough to hold them. As they grow up, they are conditioned to believe they cannot break away. They believe the rope can still hold them, so they never try to break free. The man was amazed. These animals could at any time break free from their bonds, but because they believed they couldn't, they were stuck right where they were. Like the elephants, how many of us go through life hanging on a belief that we cannot do something simply because we failed at it once before? Failure is part of learning. We should never give up the struggle in life. We have been taught so many traditional methods because they were so old and still we have been following them. Now the era has changed. We should forget those traditional methods. Now we need to struggle for going ahead. Now those traditional methods, they are not working. Those were made according to that old time. The situation was different. Now the situation is different. We need to act according to the time. Now the story number 4, potatoes, eggs, and coffee beans. Once upon a time, a daughter complained to her father that her life was miserable and that she didn't know how she was going to make it. She was tired of fighting and struggling all the time. It seemed just as one problem was solved, another one soon followed. Her father, a chef, took her to the kitchen. He filled 3 pots with water and placed each on a high fire. Once the 3 pots began to boil, he placed potatoes in one pot, eggs in the second pot, and ground coffee beans in the third pot. He then let them sit and boil without saying a word to his daughter. The daughter mourned and impatiently waited, wondering what he was doing. After 20 minutes, he turned off the burners. He took the potatoes out of the pot and placed them in a bowl. He pulled the eggs out and placed them in a bowl. He then ladled the coffee out and placed in a cup. Turning to her, he asked, "Daughter, what do you see?" "Potatoes, eggs, and coffee." She hastily replied. "Look closer," he said, and touched the potatoes. She did and noted that they were soft. He then asked her to take an egg and break it. After pulling off the shell, she observed the hard boiled egg. Finally, he asked her to sip the coffee. Its rich aroma brought a smile to her face. "Father, what does this mean?" she asked. He then explained that potatoes, the eggs, and coffee beans had each faced the same adversity, the boiling water. However, each one reacted differently. The potato went in strong, hard, and unrelenting, but in boiling water, it became soft and weak. The eggs were fragile, with a thin outer shell, protecting its liquid interior until it was put in the boiling water. Then the inside of egg became hard. However, the ground coffee beans were unique. After they were exposed to the boiling water, they changed the water and created something new. "Which are you?" he asked his daughter. "When adversity knocks on your door, how do you respond? Are you a potato, an egg, or coffee?" Moral in life, things happen around us, things happen to us. But the only thing that truly matters is what happened with us, which one you are. Many opposite situation, unconditions, situations are coming in our life, and we act according to them. Because we have not learned how to be flexible. We need to be flexible according to the situation. And from every bad or good situation, we have to take the problems, a bad situation or good situation, as an opportunity. Then we will be able to change our life positively. So that's all about today's story.